Hi, I'm Stephanie.
And I'm Leon.
And we're going to talk about technology, games, and a lot of other stuff today. What do you have in store for us?
Well, unfortunately, we had an unexpected visitor by the name of Sandy a couple of weeks ago.
Oh, this the lady who lives down the street?
You might have one of those, too.
The crazy lady who collects magazines and...
A lot of National Geographic for some reason. But, yeah, no, we're of course talking about the big superstorm, megastorm. Not a hurricane, not a nor'easter, but something in between. But anyway, yeah, Sandy paid a visit and made a mess of a lot of things. And I got flooded out a little bit. Sandy decided to rent some of my classic gaming stuff and... on a long-term, undetermined basis.
You had a lot of valuable and rare items in your collection. You had a pretty big collection that I have to say, even though I've never physically seen it. From all the talk, it was pretty impressive.
Yeah.
So, so you decided to keep everything in the basement. And this is prior to knowing that you were in an evacuation zone. Because a major hurricane was coming.
Well, I'm not in the basement for one thing.
True. Okay. Well, insurance companies do consider that a basement, even though you're technically not in a basement.
Yeah. Well, there's a basement below my place.
But yeah. Okay.
But yeah. No, I was on the first floor. I was on the ground floor. I'm in a walk-in apartment.
Okay.
And, yeah, there's a lot of stuff that was, it was an unexpected amount of flooding that occurred in the neighborhood. So. Unfortunately, some stuff got destroyed in the process, but a lot of stuff has still been saved. So
yeah, I mean, it really was tragic. I don't want to joke about it, but a lot of people lost their homes, and I actually went to the borough of Staten Island, which got hit really hard, and a lot of people lost their houses. I spent a day. I had to help out my grandmother who lived there, and I filmed a little bit of what some of the destruction that it left behind. So that's on my YouTube channel if anyone wants to see it, just to get an idea of what some of the people are going through. I mean, we're now 2 weeks after the storm and you still don't have power. So just an example, it's kind of rough.
Yeah.
Things can be replaced. So
yeah, those things can come back if we need to bring them back.
Comics.
I like digital comics these days, so I'm happy to have fewer long white boxes in my apartment. But I think some of the recent Nintendo ads have caught your attention.
Yes. So I got this email just recently from Nintendo, and it was about their holiday gift giving guide.
Mm-hmm.
Because Nintendo has the Wii U, they have the 3DS XL, they have still the Wii that they're reducing in price and selling.
Yeah, the Wii's gonna stick around.
So, I mean, they have some software this Christmas. They're hoping this is a pretty big Christmas for them. And this holiday gift guide talks about different categories if you're shopping for somebody or yourself. And they divide some of the games up. And what caught my eye was they divided categories up into like guys, women, boys, and girls. And then like family, and you click on it and it takes you to a section on the website and it shows you like, here are some suggestions that we would make for a girl gamer or a teenage boy or whatever it might be. So my gripe with Nintendo, because Nintendo, now just to take you back, Nintendo's had kind of not so great history of marketing, and I can go as far back as probably the Zelda 1 commercial. There were some really nasty print ads that sometimes I felt like Nintendo just doesn't have a clue when it comes to marketing. And even more recently, the I'm Not a Gamer ad that was targeted towards us female players. So this email that I got about the gift guide, it shows some games that girls they feel that girls would like to play, which would be fashion games, music games, and I think Epic Mickey.
Well, so we had the girls' lounge, right?
Girls' Lounge, yes.
Yeah, where, you're not just a gamer, you're, into other stuff besides just games. You might be a gamer, but maybe you like fashion, maybe you like to be an artist, maybe, you like music games like, Just Dance or Sing Party or one of those. So I think they're trying to like expand their world where it's not just traditional games like Epic Mickey or Mario Brothers or any of those core titles.
Mm-hmm.
They want to continue to bring in all the the fun casual stuff that started with the Wii. So maybe that's what's going on there. But in the next section where it's called the Women's Club, they come right out and say not a gamer. You're not a gamer. You're whatever. Insert.
So for the Women's Club, they're saying right now, that's it. You're not a gamer.
You're definitely not a gamer.
Definitely not a gamer.
that's the impression I came away with.
Yeah, that's what it seems like.
Mm-hmm.
And
they offer titles like Style Savvy.
So basically, it's the same games that they're offering the girls, who are the gamers. Well, who are kind of the gamers. They're not really even saying they're gamers.
It's a different phrasing. You're not. Maybe you are. With the girls, it was maybe you are a gamer, but here's some other things you can do. But then with the older girls, it's we know you're not a gamer. We're not even going to pretend that you might be a gamer. Here's some other stuff that we offer that you might be into, and it's a lot of the typical things that they tried to market to girls, where the perception was, well, it's a male-dominated sort of industry, and we need to make girl-specific stuff to bring female gamers into things. Where I don't know if that reflects reality these days. I think it's girls and boys alike like a lot of the same games, so I don't know if it's necessary to market along gender lines.
In this younger, not even younger gen. I mean, I'm a gamer and I play everything. Yes, I do like my puzzle games, but I play action games and I like gory games. But what I'd like to see is a company. I mean, I give Nintendo credit just for like mentioning girls, because you hardly ever even see that. Like, I can't think of one Xbox ad that showed a female playing a game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but it's going to be a lot of there's going to be a lot of fitness type games thrown into the mix too.
Well, yeah, it's always. And of course, the fitness game is in the women's section, but in the guys section, it's right. Like Halo or whatever. Not Nintendo.
Well, it's going to be Call of Duty or Assassin's Creed or stuff like that. In the college dorm section of the ad, you see all the typical stuff of like you see Tekken in there, you see Ninja Gaiden, you see Zombie U. They're pushing a lot of
all the cool stuff.
The cool stuff and a lot of the Wii U exclusive stuff. Those are a couple of titles that they have a lock on. In the younger boys section, you see stuff like Pokemon and Skylanders, and maybe some Marvel Comics games, and those are the straight up traditional core type of game that a lot of people accuse Nintendo of abandoning with the Wii, in favor of just these generic casual type games. So maybe this is just an attempt for Nintendo to realign, try to hold on to the non-gaming crowd that they picked up with the Wii, but at the same time try to bring in some of the people that maybe they lost with that approach. So I guess we'll keep an eye on them. We'll play consumer advocate and make sure they play it straight.
They're not going to get off easy.
Right. So I guess the other thing that we're seeing GameStop maybe trying to
GameStop
try a new
November 14th, I think it is. They are opening up stores called GameStop Kids, kind of like Gap Kids, but for a video game for kids.
Yeah, so I guess the things there are that it's only family friendly type games, no mature titles in the store. And the other thing is that with the sort of E-rated games, the generic, E for everyone games, they're having a lot of merchandise tie-in with those type of games. So, if you go in to buy a Star Wars game, you'll see some Star Wars merchandise next to the game. I guess Skylanders, I guess, is another title where there's like a lot of physical toys tied to the game, so you're going to see a big section on that. And it looks like they want to sort of compete with like maybe a Toys R Us type of store where you can buy both games and toys. Well, this could also be another way for GameStop to sort of add value to having a retail store, you know, as opposed to people buying stuff online or, you know, digital only purchases. You know, they want to say, come to our stores. We not only have the games that you want, we have some toys to go along with them, and you know, it's a more diverse offering than just, you know, you buy the game and you leave the store kind of a thing.
I can't wait for that one grandmother who is like walking through the mall with her list of games that her grandson asked her for, and she goes in there because it says GameStop, and she's like, you know, do you have any of these games in stock? And it's going to be like Halo and all these like ultra violent games, and they're going to be like, no.
It could happen. I mean, I guess maybe the branding won't stick out for everyone, but you know, it's and maybe parents will latch on to this place, though. They'll see it as, oh, you know, it's definitely kid friendly. So
kid friendly. Yeah.
We will, you know, we're good letting our kids run wild in there.
I'm personally against the whole rating system thing. So from my standpoint, I think it's thumbs down. Like, you don't see people rating books.
It's true, but this is, you know, popular media that I guess kids have easy access to. So
okay,
people.
I don't have kids, so I can't. Maybe I just can't relate because I don't have children.
But you know, I guess parents need that hand holding. They need to be. They need to feel informed. You know, the old stores will still be there. They're not going away.
What about Babbage's? Are they still there?
They got merged in somewhere along the way.
Software etc. Did you call it software etc. or etc.?
I always said etc., but I knew people that said etc. because
right?
They weren't very literal, you know, literary to know.
It's kind of funny that GameStop stood around so long, because you had like Funkoland and what was the other one too?
Electronics Boutique.
Electronics Boutique, yeah. Well, isn't that EB Games? They just shortened.
Yeah, EB Games, which is the same company as GameStop now. GameStop is the parent, or at least the company brand that came out on top. Yeah, well, you know, maybe there were too many of those back then.
Yeah, there were like 2 in every mall. And then there's always there's GameStop and there's GameSpot.
GameSpot.com is a big gaming website, but
it's also a mall store now. I don't know much about it, but
just in Staten Island.
I just see it. Yeah.
I heard they changed that though. They changed that yet again.
Did they?
That's what I heard.
Oh, okay.
I want to look into it.
All right. Good info. Okay, so that's GameStop. What else?
I think we played around with the Smartglass app a little bit.
We did, yes.
For Xbox.
And just to be fair, we used the iPad, we didn't use the iPhone, but we used the iPad and we used your Android
My
device.
Android phone. Yeah, phone. We tried it on Android and on iOS as well.
So 2 different experiences. Big screen, small screen.
Yeah, the layout was a little different on the iPad. You saw more.
On the iPad, yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
What was your impressions?
Well, okay, so I guess the main reasons for doing it, you can basically use your tablet that's sitting by you when you're on the sofa and using the TV. You can use that as a controller for your Xbox in a sense, or at least for navigating the dashboard. So you can swipe through. To be honest, that experience is not vastly different than just using the controller to do the same thing. It didn't seem like it really added much. What was your impression of that?
Pretty much the same. I mean, I don't really understand. I mean, for one thing, it was omitting, as far as I could tell, I couldn't find the left and right buttons.
Right.
So that wasn't even there. So really, you're automatically limited to the color, the M&M buttons, as they call them.
Yeah.
So I guess for just navigating, but I mean, you have to like go through the effort. So I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, the social aspects,
I would have rather just seen like a little joypad, like a virtual joypad at the bottom or something.
Rather than doing the full screen
swiping. A full screen, yeah, I don't know. But then there's certain apps that will allow you to interact with something, and that's where you'll need that big screen.
Sure. I think the big feature that they showed off when they first introduced the concept was this TV app that interfaced.
I know, I was really excited
with your TV shows, and you get information about the show that you're watching while you're watching it. And at the moment, they've only got 2 providers that are signed into that. I think it's available for Verizon Fios or for Comcast, their Xfinity service. We don't have either one of those. Neither of us, right? You have Time Warner. I have Optimum.
So wait a minute. We live in the biggest city in the world, and we can't test this Smartglass app?
Not yet. I'm assuming they're coming.
Okay.
But at the moment, we can't.
I think they did say, like, Time Warner was on board, and...
Yeah, and certainly there are people that have Verizon service. That maybe they can use that now.
Sure.
But, yeah, not available for our cable services yet.
Let me wipe the tear from my eye. Okay. Sorry.
The other thing is it gave you, a view of Xbox Live and all your friends and their avatars and things like that. And those views seem very similar to what you already get with, the Xbox app that you might have on your phone already.
Yeah, you can actually change your avatar now. You can pick out outfits if that's what you enjoy doing. You can now do it from the comfort of your couch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it feels like they're just laying the foundation down with this first, version of the app, and it's going to continue to grow and add features, and maybe we'll see a more mature version of it down the road.
Hope so.
Might be worth taking a second look.
One thing that I did notice, that if you load up the music apps on the Xbox Smartglass, it does give you extra info on the artist and, little things like that on the screen. Mm-hmm. And they're announcing there are going to be some games that are going to utilize this extra screen now. As far as I know, at this time, none of them were released yet, but I could be wrong. But if they were released, they're just coming out right now. But it's like 6 or 7 titles. So unfortunately, our old catalog is not, unless they release an update or a patch or something, will not be utilizing the second screen. But, it's good to see that they do have some games lined up to use it.
Yeah, it's, that will add some reason to have an extra screen on your lap, as we're seeing with, I guess, Nintendo trying something similar with the Wii U, right?
Yeah.
But that would be cool if it's some kind of let's say some kind of tactical strategy game, and you get a map on your second screen while you're playing the main game on your TV. That could be interesting. I think we also were talking about G4 TV a little bit, right?
Yes. It's over. G4 TV is over. Almost officially over. But
yeah. Shutting down by the end of this year.
Shutting down, yes. Everyone's out of a job. Actually, you know what I heard today? Adam Sessler. Sessler? Okay.
Mangling the poor guy's name.
Yeah. He's employed.
Yeah, I heard he's doing a show for Sci-Fi, right?
Is that what it is?
That's what I had heard.
Okay. I heard something. I thought I heard something else. But okay.
Maybe he's got multiple jobs.
Yeah, so he's got something going on.
Good for him.
I don't know about Morgan Webb and.
But Adam hasn't been working at the channel for a few months.
I know he did. Yeah, he left back in a couple of months ago. So
yeah.
How do you feel about this whole experience?
Well, G4 for a lot of people used to be a cool channel that you could turn on and see shows about video games on TV. Something that we didn't really have a lot of. Do
you go back to the Tech TV days?
I go back to having just Tech TV.
Or CNET when it was CNET.
Yeah, I didn't have ZD TV.
Oh, yeah. That's what it was called.
Yeah, way back. I didn't go back that far. I got it when I finally got DirecTV in the early 2000s. And it was cool. I liked shows like Screensavers and Call for Help.
Yeah, to me the channel was always like I don't know if it was anything that I would purposely want to put on as soon as 8 o'clock. Let me put on CDTV or whatever it was.
Right.
But it was when I was like as background noise. Like I always liked it playing in the background when I was on the computer, or I was, whatever I was doing in the apartment. So I miss those days. And
yeah, and then G4 was a separate channel back then.
They had Starcade.
Yeah, reruns. I mean, I never had the regular G4 channel on any of my systems. I never did either.
Yeah, they didn't carry it.
Yeah, I didn't get it. I didn't get any of their shows until they bought Tech TV, or they merged with Tech TV, and then it became, G4 Tech TV, and they brought in some of their shows and then mixed them with Tech TV shows, and then they started changing things. Extended Play became X Play. That was the original show that Adam started on.
Oh, okay.
But as time went on, the number of gaming shows got smaller and smaller. The channel, kind of changed face a little bit, started introducing other programming, more syndicated shows. Everyone always
started becoming less TV,
less about games and tech.
Less tech, yeah. Mm-hmm. So they lost me a long time ago.
Right.
But I think most fans of that channel pretty much left like a good 2 years ago, maybe.
It's probably true. I mean, the channel, I guess, the rumor is that they're getting rebranded. They're getting reinvented into something new. Now, I have always felt like the channel had this Spike TV envy, and they want to be more like Spike. Mm-hmm. They want a young male demographic, and they're trying to like bring on shows that appeal to that. And I guess, the different things played into that, right? I guess, for one thing, they got dropped from DirecTV last year.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So that was like a huge, major national carrier, like not, carrying the channel anymore. DirecTV claimed that the ratings weren't there, and, there's just, their focus was just too narrow, and it wasn't interesting to their customers. That was DirecTV's story. But the other thing is that G4's parent company, Comcast, they ended up buying NBC Universal. So they had a lot more channels to worry about. And I think G4 became a much smaller entity in that bigger universe. Suddenly they have NBC and USA Network and Sci-Fi Channel in their portfolio, and maybe they didn't care about G4 as much. So that's the end of an era, I guess, for some people. Whoever was left.
So there will be no official cable channel with technology?
Not as its focus, I guess. I think the other thing is that a lot of the people that they're trying to appeal to, either technology enthusiasts or gamers in particular, they're consuming that content in other ways, specifically online on the internet, either YouTube or something, some other channel that caters specifically to their interests. So maybe there isn't a need for a traditional broadcast channel talking about technology, where there's more edgy technological ways to get that information. So I think that's what's happening there.
So times are changing.
Yeah, definitely. Do we have some stuff that we wanted to show off?
Stephanie's stuff. What do we have today?
Well, you have an interesting cartridge, I think. Okay.
So this is the ultimate Atari cartridge. Only one made.
I don't have one.
You don't have one?
Thank God. Well, otherwise it would have gotten destroyed.
Take it out of its protective wrapper.
What have you got there? What's it called?
Ooh, it's called... Oh, man, I just ripped the wrapper.
Luckily, Ziploc bags are available at your 99-cent store.
Okay. So this is called Space Invaders Gone Berserk.
Wow. So unreal.
You're probably thinking, that's a licensing nightmare. Two different companies. But, this was really... this is a homebrew hack of a Space Invaders game. And this came about back in MySpace days, 4 or 5 years ago. There was some classic gamer guy, and he used to do hacks. And I actually don't remember his name, so if he does remember this, and he's not on MySpace anymore. So you can contact me, because, I like to keep in touch with people. So, but anyway, he had this idea, I think it might have been for Valentine's Day, but maybe not, that you can design your own label, and come up with a game idea, and he'll make the game, and he'll make your cartridge. But it had to be something easy, like that he can hack the graphics on. Nothing like you don't want to make nothing too complicated. So I told him, you know, I love Space Invaders, I love Berserk. You know, how about changing the Space Invaders to characters from Berserk? And he thought it was a great idea, and I guess that's it.
That cartridge was the result?
This is the result.
And you made that label?
Yeah, I sent him the design for the label. He thought it was cool. He used it. He says he would have done the label, but I figured, why don't I do my own label?
Yeah, why not?
So
personal touch on the
So it's
on the cartridge.
As far as I know, you know, I don't think there's a ROM release for this. It's kind of cool. It doesn't have any voices. It has the Evil Otto as the mothership. You don't have, for the Space Invader ship, it's the guy on the bottom of the screen shooting. And do these robots have a name in Berserk?
I don't know. Never noticed.
But they're the ones that
those are the main invaders.
In place of the invaders.
Yeah, we played it a bit. It was fun.
It was pretty cool. Yeah, we did play it.
A little 2-player Space Invaders.
Yeah, not bad. As someone who has never been able to make her own game, this is cool.
Good.
If you had to combine two games, what would you combine?
We've talked about this before.
Okay.
I would love to see Berserk graphics in place of Venture gameplay. I would love to see Venture.
We're going to edit this out because I don't want to give anyone ideas. One day I'm going to make this game.
Okay. Fair enough.
And what would I call it? Venture Gone Berserk. Sorry, so speaking of questions, I think I have to ask you a question.
It always comes to this, doesn't it?
It does. And let me see if I can phrase this correctly. But what game in your history of gaming, the one game that you really anticipated, you got home, and it was a total turd? So it's that experience where you're walking in the store, you've been waiting, like you've seen the magazines, this game you want really bad, you get it home, you're all excited, you take the wrapper off, and then you pop it in, and like 2 minutes in, you already know, like, this is total garbage.
Or at least not the game you wanted to play. Or at least that you imagined the game would be.
Yeah, if you want to be nice.
I mean, for me, I was disappointed early on when I got Activision Space Shuttle for the 2600. I thought I was going to be, you know, doing some exciting stuff in that game, and it just turned out to be very...
You thought you were going to see all the planets and
I don't know,
land on Mars.
Yeah. I don't know what I was expecting. I guess even...
It seems pretty exciting. Space Shuttle back in the 80s. That was like big stuff back then.
Right, sure. And I thought, you know, the 2600 was up to the task to give me all kinds of exciting
if you're going to travel on other planets, you got to do it on Atari 2600.
It's a computer. It should be, you know, sufficient. What's wrong with the 2600? How much better can it get? But I don't know. For some reason, I thought the game was just too much of a simulation for me. But maybe I just don't, you know, maybe simulations are just too...
Is that Activision?
Yeah, it was.
And that's the whole crazy part, because back then, like, Activision didn't really put out a dud, so...
Yeah, maybe it's not a dud for some people.
It might not be.
It just wasn't what I was expecting.
I didn't care for it either.
How about you, then? Do you have another one that you think is...
Well, I would say the really big one would be WWF WrestleMania for Nintendo 8-bit. After seeing it in Nintendo Power, and I was really big. That was like at the height of wrestling, and I was like the graphics looked so good in the pictures, and reading about it, I was like, I cannot wait to get this wrestling game. I used to play wrestling in the arcades, and I needed a good wrestling game at home. So one day I used to call like my local game store and bother them every day. When's it coming in? When's it coming in? And finally, you know, it came in. I ran over there. I bought it. I think it was like $30 maybe. got home, I was all excited. I ripped the plastic off, and you put it in, and then I'm playing it. I'm like, wow, there's no wrestling moves. There's punch and kick and like not anything. Like I thought, a huge disappointment.
Mm-hmm. So it's like Double Dragon, but in the ring. That's it.
Yeah, kind of, pretty much. And then they like there were these things that got thrown in the ring that you got to grab, and it was just so stupid.
More of an action fighting game than a
it wasn't
proper wrestling game.
You never got to pin the guy. It wasn't a wrestling game,
mm-hmm.
and it's called WrestleMania.
It's a quick
why
quick licensing grab, maybe.
I should how I should have known it was by LJN. I learned my lesson because that might have been their first game. Mm-hmm. But I didn't buy Karate Kid. I didn't buy.
This is before the
Jaws
days.
Yeah, before the Ukes days. You didn't have a grapple system.
Right. It's terrible. But I don't think I've had that level of disappointment. You describe a level of disappointment beyond.
I was crushed.
What I would have experienced.
I did appreciate the theme music being in there for like Honky Tonk Man and
mm-hmm.
Hulk Hogan and stuff, but boy, that was a rough day.
Yeah, I think that's all we have on this.
Yeah, so our final, we have our last segment, the final bit, and we're going to talk about a game that we both been playing a little bit lately, and it's called Pocket Climber, and it's for iOS. I'm not sure if it's available on Android or not, but
I haven't looked for it.
Have you seen it? And just a little quick history. I've seen this game advertised on web banners, like those annoying things that flash and you never click on them.
I guess it worked.
Well, not really. Well, like it kind of did, because I was like, all right, Pocket Climber. It sounded like Crazy Climber.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, all right, let me click on it. I figured it was like spam or something, or a bad game. I clicked on it, and it seemed like a lot of Chinese or something. And it didn't seem like...
Definitely an Asian game.
Yeah, it seemed like some kind of like hack or something. It didn't seem like a good game. So I never bought it. I didn't think the marketing was good.
Mm-hmm.
But it did go free recently. So I jumped on it, I downloaded it, and I was really surprised. It's not a bad game. It's not... I wouldn't say it's a fantastic game, but It's a lot better than my expectations. And it is based on Crazy Climber, which had me even more surprised.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was surprised too, because I saw you playing the game and I thought it was pretty nifty. It looked good, great graphics, very easy pick up and play, controls. So I started playing it too, and I was really surprised on the quality of the game. It just is fun, and if you like that Crazy Climber style of gameplay, I think it's perfect. For me, Crazy Climber was always about seeing how high you can get and seeing what's at the top of the building, and this one takes it even further, introducing new types of setting for the building as you're climbing, and it looks I want to see how far it'll go. Personally, I want to see what other types of buildings I can get to.
So it does copy some other games in the sense that it is one of those how high can you get type of games. You have one life. You can buy when you fall, you can buy an extra life to go up, but it costs gold, and you have to collect the coins to earn gold, or you can buy them with the in-app purchase.
Sure.
Similar to Crazy Climber in the sense that you're looking, I would say, at an almost behind the upward view of the guy climbing, and he climbs automatically. So that's the big change. Where in the old game, a lot of people would struggle with those two joysticks, which I've grown to love now. So I wish those were back. But he does the climbing for you. You just have to swipe left or right, or you can also jump up. Yeah,
because there are obstacles as you're climbing up, and sometimes you can hop over them.
But everything else is there. They throw things out of the window. There's King Kong at some point. The bird poop is not there, as far as I can tell yet. I didn't get, I don't know if there's a helicopter. I don't even know if there's a top. I'm not sure, but there's some. It's pretty fun.
Yeah, I think if I had any criticism at all, it would be that I would like to see the starting of the game, the very beginning of the game, of you on the street and then climbing up onto the building. for some reason, I would like to see that. I feel it would set the tone for the game. This starts out with you just on the ledge, and then you just go forward from there.
Yeah, no story, nothing, just that's it.
Yeah, and then there's also a portion of the building where as you're climbing, it's an office building, it's a modern structure, and then all of a sudden you're entering what look like Mayan ruins or something.
Yeah, I don't get that.
So this is a very bizarre building if it exists.
There's like one section of the building
it's just ancient
Egyptian artifacts and
yeah, and those sections, the graphics are a little. It's not as clean cut as the regular modern setting is. So it's a little hard to tell when you should be like hopping ahead to skip over things that you can't physically climb onto. But that's just getting more familiar with it. And then it becomes an office building again, so it's an even stranger kind of a setting. So I would prefer to see like maybe different themed buildings where you got, certain style to them, and then you got to the top and finished it, and then maybe move to a different one. It's a little.
I agree with you.
It's a bizarre fantasy world where
I think
it's just an endless building that becomes different things.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know if it just keeps, because after the Egyptian part, then it goes back to being like an office building again.
Right, and then I don't know what goes beyond that because I can't get past it yet.
I think I've done 400 feet maybe.
So I'm gonna keep playing just to find out what's there. But
me too. But
so far, it's keeping my interest.
So I would personally say for a free game. And if you're a fan of Crazy Climber, or in Temple Run, because it is kind of that swiping, collecting coin Temple Run idea, definitely get it. For 99 cents, I personally would buy it, knowing what I know now, because I couldn't find any videos or anything on it. So, knowing how decent it is, I would definitely spend $1 on it.
Yeah, I think it's definitely worth a purchase if I had known about it. But since it's free now, everyone should just get it and try it out. It's available for iPad and iPhone. There's like a non-HD version for iPhone as well. I guess we'll find out if there is an Android version too. Mm-hmm. But I give it a thumbs up.
Thumbs up. I give it a thumbs up too. But the real question is, what does Bit think of Pocket Climber?
Yeah, Bit, do you want to get Pocket Climber?
So we have Bit in. We're gonna ask the opinion. So okay, do you want to ask this time around? Because maybe like some people think that I might have. Hearing a woman's voice might think Bit might be a little bit, he might just say yes to please me. So
right. All right. So Bit, this Pocket Climber game, you're gonna have to live with it in the iPad. So what do you think? Is it worth getting Pocket Climber and playing it? Okay. All right. For once.
Wow.
Bit is more agreeable. I'm shocked.
The Bit doesn't lie. That's one thing you're going to get a yes or no answer from Bit.
Yeah. Well, that's cool, Bit. Thanks for agreeing with us for once and, being a team player.
And speaking of team player, we're done.
Great.
That was a good segue, right?
Sure.
So, I'm Stephanie, and thank you for joining us.
And I'm Leon. Please come and see us again.
Bye-bye.
Bye.